Welcome to the Explainer. So today we are setting out to completely dismantle a massive cultural illusion. I mean, we constantly hear this grandiose marketing hype, right? That artificial intelligence systems have just suddenly woken up, that they possess their own creative agency, and that they're basically the new creator gods of our digital era. But if you strip away all that slick Silicon Valley marketing, what do you actually have left? Well, today we are boldly going straight into the machine to uncover why true creation is, and honestly always will be, a fiercely physical, biological act. Okay, let's dive into this flight plan for our descent into the machine. We've got, first, the AI creator myth. Second, praxis and biological friction. Third, algorithmic distortion versus protortion. Fourth, etching the record of sweat. And finally, number 5, the sovereign human pilot. All right, starting off with section 1, the AI creator myth. To really ground ourselves here, we're turning to the brilliant philosopher Hannah Arendt, because she actually provided a profoundly useful lens for this exact moment in history. She argued that true creation requires something called praxis. Now, praxis is this active, engaged doing that is completely, absolutely, inextricably tied to lived human experience and our social existence. It requires an inner self. It requires a beating heart. And a machine, it fundamentally lacks this. Real art and true authorship require physically pushing your way through the messy, chaotic maze of human life. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the sheer, visceral contrast we're looking at. Over on one side, we have what researchers playfully call OS alpha. That's our warm, deeply messy, highly associative, biological human minds, right? That is where actual intent and imagination live. But on the completely opposite end of the spectrum, sitting buried inside a computer processor, is the arithmetic logic unit, or the ALU. And that is a cold, strict, absolutely unforgiving silicon reality. It faces literally zero biological friction. It just processes voltages. Moving right along to section 2, praxis and biological friction. You know, decades ago, the cultural theorist Roland Barthes gave us the absolute perfect term for this. He called it a scriptor. Basically, an AI is an incredibly sophisticated deterministic vessel. It blindly processes these massive databases, it hunts for statistical patterns, and then it recombines pre-existing human language. But here's the kicker. It does all of this without a single ounce of genuine comprehension. Think about it. An AI has never stubbed its toe, it's never felt joy or heartbreak or the sheer agonizing physical struggle of staring down a blank page. It has absolutely zero societal context and zero internal drive to actually express meaning. So if the machine is just a scriptor, how do we actually command the thing? Well, to cross what's called the semiotic bridge, because remember, the machine has no inner self, we literally have to squeeze our fluid, messy human imagination through a highly structured interface of text. We're talking Python code, JSON schemas, things like that. This text basically acts as a divine script. We are quite literally tricking rocks into thinking using lightning and text. It's kind of wild when you frame it like that. Which brings us to section 3, algorithmic distortion versus protortion. See, AI relies entirely on probabilistic math. It is constantly guessing. And the problem is that guessing inherently degrades and distorts your original intent. We call this algorithmic distortion. So to fight off this automated miasma, you absolutely must apply its exact opposite, which is protortion. Protortion is your proactive, painstaking manual steering. It's that fierce, deliberate effort required by a human pilot to aggressively map their exact vision onto reality, actively rejecting the random distortion of the algorithm. You're basically wrestling the wheel back. And listen, if you don't engage in this rigorous protortion, you fall into a downright terrifying trap coined by tech scholar Madeleine Claire Elish. She calls it the moral crumple zone. Just like the front of your car is explicitly designed to crush on impact to protect you in the cabin, well, tech companies intentionally design automated systems with you, the human, in the loop, just to act as a liability shield, right? If the AI hallucinates, breaks copyright, or totally fails, the machine doesn't go to jail. You do. If you're just sitting there as a passive consumer, you are quite literally just a moral crumple zone for the machine's failures. Let's move to and see how this builds into something actionable. To reclaim your sovereignty and protect yourself, here are the exact tactical steps. Step 1. You apply your specific human root intent. Step 2. You roll up your sleeves and physically prune and edit the text substrate yourself. In step 3, you forcefully override the machine's random guesswork. You demand bit-perfect fidelity. This is your human rhetorical control, and it is the only thing maintaining the safety of the entire system. Next up, section 4, etching the record of sweat. We do this by anchoring the whole concept of authorship right back into visceral biological reality. The historic legal doctrine of the sweat of the brow is actually being resurrected right now as cryptographic proof. We're talking about the literal physical toll of creation. Thousands of prompt iterations, meticulous parameter adjustments, the actual physical pruning of code. And to put this physical reality into perspective, researchers have actually measured exertion using biometric chips. The spatial variability of human effort is absolutely undeniable. For instance, the human forehead under cognitive load outputs exactly 1,710 grams of sweat per square meter per hour. That is real, measurable biological friction. So the crucial point is this staggering number, 55.5 million. Check this out. In a recently verified digital strike, a human pilot utilized exactly 66 precise manual forensic interventions to steer an AI swarm. That literal physical effort translated into exactly 55.5 million tokens of metabolic flux, recorded right on the ledger. It proves mathematically that actual human metabolic energy, real horsepower, intense focus, was spent to execute the mission. You simply cannot sever the digital command from the physical human calories burned to achieve it. No way. This creates such a profound contrast. On one hand, we've got algorithmic distortion, a machine-driven, purely probabilistic, automated miasma of guesswork and hallucinations. But on the other hand, we have the record of sweat. This is the immutable, cryptographic receipt of physical human effort. It's the absolute mathematical proof, out at the very edges of the network, that a sovereign, living, breathing human was undeniably directing the orchestration, permanently etching their lived biological friction directly into the cold digital ledger. And finally, Section 5, the sovereign human pilot. And this brilliantly illustrates our real role pulled straight from the architectural documentation of these massive systems. The human pilot applies the intent, but the agent cell executes the sweat. The machine is handling the tedious, mechanical rendering of the syntax, right? It's merely a paintbrush. But the human, we provide the overarching strategy, the emotional resonance, that crucial biological friction, and the moral constraints that the machine completely lacks. You're no longer just an originator. You are the sovereign orchestrator of the whole shebang. We absolutely must reject the myth of the AI creator god, because the magic is never, ever in the machine. It is entirely in your human intent. As these slick, automated systems integrate into every single corner of our lives, they're going to try to hide this deterministic reality from you. They will try to make you a passive tenant, a mere moral crumple zone for their inevitable failures. So I want to leave you with this final fierce and provocative thought to deeply chew on. If we stop actively writing the divine script, if we abandon the semiotic bridge and stop injecting our own biological sweat into the ledger, who controls the physics of our digital reality? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Keep questioning the systems around you, and I'll catch you next time.